Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our channel. Today we have a special episode as we bring you the last words of a remarkable man, Samuel Wurzelbacher, better known as Joe the Plumber. As we reflect on his life and his legacy, we will delve into his experiences, inspirations, and the lessons we can learn from his journey. Just as our lives and stories intertwine, so too does Samuel's impact on the world. So let us honor his memory by listening to his final words. Born on December 3, 1973, in Toledo, Ohio, a true American patriot emerged. Samuel Wurzelbacher grew up in a humble household instilled with the values of hard work, dedication, and service to others from a young age. His love for fixing things and helping people led him down to the path of becoming a plumber, where he earned the affectionate nickname that later propelled him into the national spotlight. Joe the Plumber's rise to fame was not without its challenge. With newfound fame came intense scrutiny and criticism, with some attempting to diminish his message and dismiss his experience as irrelevant. However, Joe remained resilient, steadfast in his convictions, never backing down from his belief in the power of the American dream. Joe, you see, when people challenge your words, your actions, or your experience, it can be easy to be disheartened. But I realized that the strength of my message and its potential impact was far greater than any criticism I could face. Samuel Wurzelbacher, Joe the Plumber, last words before he died. If I could convey just one message, it would be to never underestimate the power of your voice. Through life's struggles, remember that you have a unique perspective to offer the world. Whether as a plumber or a poet, each of us holds the ability to shape the future with our thoughts, our actions, and our words. Do not fear the challenge life presents. Embrace them, for it is through embracing adversity that we uncover the strength and resilience we never knew we possessed. Joe reminds us that greatness lies within every one of us, waiting to be awakened. Samuel Joseph Wurzelbacher, who briefly became Joe the Plumber, the metaphorical American middle class everyman, by injecting himself into the 2008 presidential campaign in an impromptu, nationally televised face-off with Barack Obama over taxing small businesses, died on Sunday at his home in Campbellsport, Wisconsin, about 60 miles north of Milwaukee. He was 49. The cause was complications of pancreatic cancer, his wife, Katie Wurzelbacher, said. Mr. Obama, then a United States Senator from Illinois, was campaigning on Shrewsbury Street, in a working-class neighborhood of Toledo, Ohio, on Sunday, October 12, 2008, when Mr. Wurzelbacher interrupted a football catch with his son in front of his front yard to mosey over and ask the Democratic nominee about his proposed tax increase for some small businesses. During a cordial but largely inconclusive 5-minute colloquy in front of news cameras, Mr. Wurzelbacher said he was concerned about being subjected to a bigger tax bite just as he was approaching the point where he could finally afford to buy a plumbing business, which he said would generate an income of $250,000 a year. 3 days later, Joe the Plumber, as he was popularized by Mr. Obama's Republican rival, Senator John McCain, was invoked some 24 times during the final debate of the presidential campaign. Mr. Wurzelbacher became a folk hero of sorts during the campaign's final weeks, particularly among the McCain supporters and conservative commentators who cottoned to his remarks that Mr. Obama's share the wealth prescriptions for economy were akin to socialism or even communism and contradicted the American dream. Mr. McCain's running mate, Governor Sarah Palin of Alaska, also jumped in, appearing on stage with Mr. Wurzelbacher at rallies. But by election day, his image in the spotlight as a burly, bald, iron-jawed John Doe eroded as the public learned that he was not a licensed plumber. He could work in Toledo only for someone with a master's license or in outlying areas, and owed $1,200 in back tax. He flirted with supporting Mr. McCain, but later referred to him as the lesser of the two evils on the ballot and never revealed whom he voted for that November. Let us still keep that private, his wife said by phone on Monday. In 2012, Mr. Wurzelbacher won the Republican nomination to challenge Representative Marcy Kaptur, the Democratic incumbent in Ohio's 9th congressional district, but was crushed in the general election, winning only 23% of the vote to her 73%. During that campaign, he released a video defending the Second Amendment and blaming gun control as having helped enable the Ottoman Empire to commit genocide against Armenians in the early 20th century and Nazi Germany to carry out the Holocaust, saying gun laws had stripped the victims in both cases of the ability to defend themselves. Again, defending a right to bear arms, he wrote to parents of the victims of a mass shooting in 2014 in Isla Vista, California, near the campus of the University of California, Santa Barbara, saying, "As harsh as this sounds, your dead kids do not trump my constitutional rights." Samuel Joseph Wurzelbacher was born on December 3, 1973, to Frank and Kay Bloomfield Wurzelbacher. His mother was a waitress and his father was a disabled war veteran. After high school, he enlisted in the Air Force, where he was trained in plumbing. He was discharged in 1996 and worked as a plumber's assistant as well as for a telecommunication company. Capitalizing on his celebrity after the 2008 election, he appeared in TV commercials promoting digital television, published a book, Joe the Plumber, Fighting for the American Dream, 2009 with Thomas Tabak, and covered the Israeli ground invasion of Gaza in 2009 for PJ Media, a conservative website. In 2014, he went to work in a Jeep plant. In addition to his wife, who had been Katie Shannon when they married, he's survived by a son, Samuel Jr., from his first marriage, which ended in divorce, and 3 children from his second marriage, Samantha Jo, Harry Jo, and Sarah Jo. Although Mr. Wurzelbacher ended his encounter with Mr. Obama by shaking hands with him, he did not seem satisfied by the candidate's response to how his tax proposal would affect a small plumbing business. If you're a small business, which you would qualify, first of all, you would get a 50% tax credit, so you would get a cut in taxes for your health care costs, Mr. Obama explained. And if his business's revenue were below $250,000, he added, its taxes would not go up. It is not that I want to punish your success, I just want to make sure that everybody who is behind you, that they have got a chance at success too, Mr. Obama added. My attitude is that if the economy is good for folks from the bottom up, it's gonna be good for everybody. If you've got a plumbing business, you're gonna be better off, he continued. If you've got a whole bunch of customers who can afford to hire you, and right now everybody's so pinched that business is bad for everybody, and I think when you spread the wealth around, it's good for everybody. Mr. Wurzelbacher was unpersuaded. It is my discretion who I want to give my money to, he would later say repeatedly. It is not for the government to decide that I make a little too much and so I need to share it with other people. That is not the American dream. Mr. Wurzelbacher insisted on Monday that her husband's encounter with Mr. Obama in 2008 was completely spontaneous, not staged by Republican operatives or anyone else, and that Mr. Obama's appearance in the neighborhood had actually been arranged by a neighbor down the block. It was completely coincidental, she said. It always amazed him that one question thrust him into the national spotlight. Joe, we are truly grateful for the wisdom you have shared with us today. As we reflect on your journey, it is evident that your lasting legacy is not only as Joe the plumber, but as a symbol of hope and inspiration. Join us next time as we continue to bring you inspiring stories of individuals who leave an indelible mark on the world. Remember, dear viewers, never underestimate the power of your words, or the impact you can make. Until then, create your destiny and be the change you wish to see.